Hello, my name is Kellyann, and I have spent the best part of the last 2 decades working specifically with adults who have neurological difficulties following stroke. A stroke or cerebrovascular accident, as they are medically known, causes a grown adult to lose brain matter in a matter of seconds, minutes, and hours. As a result, they find their ability to think, read, write, speak, walk, eat and drink, and many more human faculties disappear literally instantaneously. I've had the great privilege of dedicating my working life to the rehabilitation of these very people. That means on a daily basis, it is not at all usual for me to be working with someone with an intact or so-called normally functioning brain. Brain rehabilitation and disordered human behaviour is much more the norm for my daily practice. I made an observation in these past few years about people attending my clinic at Finding Your Voice with Kellyann. These people would frequently report that after their stroke rehabilitation, they could reflect that they were indeed better off as a person for the experiential journey of rehabilitation. I set to wondering about that. Feeling better? After a significant and life-changing injury to your brain? What was happening here? It soon became clear to me that during my time of specialising in neurological communication disorders, I had also been keenly standing in the gap for my clients in the area of psychology, mindset, emotional literacy, and cognitive rehabilitation, as well as adjustment. At the same time, I had a keen personal interest in the peak performance attributes of successful leaders around the world. And in addition to all of that, I had personally self-rehabilitated from a significant and enduring neurological illness myself. I too had many, many years of not overcoming and really not winning, and most definitely not thriving due to neurological difficulties. My potential lay dormant for a very long time. I have a unique story and a unique outlook in my work to help people to rehabilitate from neurological difficulties. It's something I'm so incredibly passionate about, and it is not in anybody's interest for me to keep that to myself. Now is the time to make optimal brain performance for neuroplasticity a reality for people with the greatest needs for help. Now is the time to teach widely and powerfully on the brain's incredible potential for rewiring for positive and impactful change in the brains of those that need it most. Further reflection on my clinical practice over the past 16 years brought me to the conclusion that never at any one time had I been focusing primarily just on speech and language difficulties. Rather, I was holistically treating the whole person every time. They do indeed say that necessity is the mother of invention, and I believe this to be true. Why had I not stuck to my pigeonhole of rehabilitation? Well, truly it was not suffice for the people I met following injury to their brain. My heart's mission as a therapist is to treat everyone as the individual they are. No two people are the same. No two people have the same brain, and most certainly do not experience the same nature of injury to their brain. Stroke is no respecter of the nature nor the extent of injury it does to the brain, nor the path of devastation that it leaves in the lives of the patient and all those they love around them. To treat people with one iron in the fire, as it were, would to me have been not seeing nor caring for the whole person and the whole person's needs. In my many years of practice, I couldn't find this help for my patients, and so I became the help. So let's talk about the brain. Let's first start with what you're working with right now. If we look back to prehistoric times, the brain we see today does not actually look very different. We have an ancient brain that we're trying to use in a modern world. Yet you can imagine how much life has changed. Life has changed immeasurably and does and will continue to do so. However, we are still just human beings doing the very best we can with what we have. But what we have often has never had mentorship or coaching for peak performance. We didn't get taught this stuff at school. But if we had, I believe it really would have been no less than life-changing for us all. I kind of see it like this. Imagine having a car like a Ferrari, but you're running it on a mobile phone battery for an engine. The Ferrari is amazing. It's the most incredible car around, but its engine, its driving force is just way off. I mean, it might be enough to switch the lights on, I don't know. But is the Ferrari going to be able to move in peak performance? No, absolutely not. Now imagine this Ferrari is on the Formula One track and it crashes into the barriers. A quick crash at high speed, lots of damage done, and some of it irreparable. What now? The engine wasn't amply sufficient for peak performance before the accident. Imagine what it now faces, having to deal with parts not working, pieces not functioning, and generally being halted in its very existence. The very driving force of the Ferrari, or the brain, as I am alluding to, needs a complete overhaul. And this is not guesswork. Right now, we have never known so much about the mind and the brain as we know now. There are scientists, psychiatrists, medical doctors, quantum physicists, therapists, and psychologists, to name just a few, all around the world, researching the cutting edge, the critical science we need, instigating large randomized controlled trials in research to bring us a clear understanding of what the brain needs for optimal peak performance. And this is necessary, whether you are recovering from injury to the brain or if indeed you are just trying to use your prehistoric brain to function in today's day and age. We could all use the solutions that science, research, and clinical evidence now tells us about. And you'll be pleased to know it has been a long-term passion of mine to read the extensive research in this field, so that you don't have to. However, if you're interested to read more, I attach a large reference library list in this section for you. And lastly, I'd like to say that, of course, as a therapist, from my perspective, research really is at its peak level of value when therapists like myself can create ways to put it into practice to help people. Then it's not research for research's sake. Then it changes lives. It's an incredible honour to run my clinic and to reach you with this programme. So thank you for taking the time to come and listen. It's a courageous step when we reach out for help, and I congratulate you for finding your way here.